the Unraveling podcast.
Hi.
We are together today.
Yes, and we're trying live for the first time.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes.
Bear with us.
Okay, let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. Let's see. Go ahead.
Hello, hello.
I don't know why it won't pull up like this. Will yours?
Let's see. Let's see, it says we're live, but it looks pretty choppy. It's just a little bit delayed, it seems like.
I wonder if it just
like
takes a minute to
catch up.
Yeah. Can you go to the comments? Turn it. Your phone.
Sorry for anybody watching.
We're trying to figure this out, guys.
Let's see. I can't see the chat like that. Well, we're the only viewers right now.
It looks good. Does it still look good?
Maybe record it.
It's only in 1080. Does it look bad? It's really behind, so it's very confusing.
Yeah, we definitely won't be able to watch the chat on there.
Chase?
Maybe it's not working again. How do you tell? Usually we'll say how many people are viewing it.
2.
Which is me and Chase.
Okay, Chase says let's do it. Okay. All right, we'll just go for it.
Okay.
It's just confusing because it's so behind. Can you pull up the chat on your phone?
It's not letting me. I don't know if you. I don't know. I think because I don't have an actual account on YouTube. Maybe it's not letting me.
Okay, I think I could pull it up on my phone.
See, I feel like Chase is answering, but
it's just confusing.
It's a little bit behind.
Okay. I can see the chat from my phone, so
okay.
I can watch it from here.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
All right, guys.
So should we go back to the other one though? So
yeah, that's cute.
Sorry, guys. Okay, that way it's in real time for us because it looks. Oh, look, it does work on here. Oh, so it's telling us.
Oh my gosh, you guys, we figured it out.
That makes it so much easier.
We figured it out.
Wow, that's so cool. Okay.
Okay, so now we're good.
Awesome.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Hi, Jamie.
Hello.
She's with me in Texas today, so that's fun.
Yes, I wish we could do it like this all the time.
I know, I'm just nice.
So today.
Oh, okay, I'll start. Guess what I learned in the last few weeks? Jamie, guess. You already know what it is. Okay, so we've talked so much about Left Behind.
Yes,
and dispensationalism.
But
okay.
With the Left Behind series.
Like the series. Yeah. Okay, so I learned that Kirk Cameron, who is like the face of Left Behind, doesn't even believe in premillennialism, which is crazy. He doesn't even believe in dispensationalism anymore.
Which is something he came to realize after he became.
Yeah, like recently.
Oh, recently.
Yeah, like this is like a new thing. Wow. From what I read.
Okay.
So I think that's crazy because
Cameron, can we get you on?
We'd love to talk to you. I just was like, what? Like he is like the face of dispensationalism.
Yeah, I mean, literally when I think of Left Behind, I think of Kirk Cameron.
I know.
So
really crazy.
that is crazy.
I know.
Which brought us to what the other view is post-millennialism.
Yeah, so we've been really looking into that.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like I don't fully understand it. I would love to have anybody on who, like, this is their view, because I guess I just have questions. But
yeah.
So basically there's premillennialism and postmillennialism.
Which premillennialism is
dispensationalism. So premillennial means premillennial, that's when Christ returns before the millennial reign, where postmillennialism is after the millennial reign. So, but I feel like we've heard people who they think both. Like they think they believe we're in the millennial reign, but they still think Jesus did return back in 70 AD. So I guess that's where I feel like I'm not fully understanding, but
it's not connected.
But I really would like to understand it, because I feel like we're both open to, like, if it's biblically sound. It's not like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess what I'm thinking is they believe Jesus returned in 70 AD, but the return they're waiting for, is it just the judgment? Or is it the rapture?
No, I think it's like the rapture. Okay. Because that's the difference. It's like premillennial, postmillennial. So they're, based off of the same thing. It's just on one side or the other. Okay. So yeah, that's very interesting. So then it took me down a rabbit hole. I was like looking into that so much.
Yeah.
And like trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I still feel I just feel a little bit confused, because I was telling you, like, if you look it up on Google, it's like, it says one thing, but then I've heard other people who think it's different. So
yeah, because you still have the ones who don't believe Jesus returned in 70, but they believe postmillennial.
Right.
And then you have those who believe he stuck to his word in that time period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this still? Okay, we're still live, right? I just want to make sure, because my time. See how my time is on? Oh no, it's going. It was frozen for a minute. I always get nervous.
Yeah.
My computer likes to get really off on the time, and then it's very confusing.
Yeah, we are so new to this.
Yeah.
It's like, even we've done it so many times, and still.
It's still weird.
Figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy, because it's just like, I mean, he is the face of Left Behind. So for him to change his view, I wonder what made him.
I know. There was like a podcast with him, but every time I tried to click it, it wasn't working.
Yeah, I tried. You sent me the thing.
Yeah, and so I really want to listen to it, because I'm curious how, like, what made him come to this realization, and I feel like it should be more well known. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's what I liked. The article you sent, he said, I think everybody should know that there are different views of eschatology.
Yeah.
But we're very much like I'm not joking. I didn't even know that there was other views of eschatology.
Right.
The only thing I knew was there's pre-trib and post-trib. I didn't know there's ever an idea, like a thought that Jesus is already.
And honestly, like, I don't know if I've said this on here, but like, you're the one who told me. I literally thought you thought we were raptured at the end, or at the beginning, right? Like, that's what I always thought. And then you were like, oh, there's mid-trib and post-trib. And I was like, what? And I thought that was like, whoa.
Yeah, so I really overwhelmed you.
And that was like when we were like 18 or something. We were like young.
Yeah.
And then, to like come to find out, even still, we're still learning that there's like more views. It's like.
Yeah, so if someone knows more about that, we'd really like to talk about it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear, like, if somebody's super knowledgeable and all that. Like, I like to hear all the different sides and, ideas of what people think.
Yeah, because we just, we're trying to read the Bible literally. We feel like there's a pretty good timeline. So it's just like trying to figure out how they're fitting this into that timeline is what I'm most curious about. So, if anybody has anything to share.
Yeah. Another thing that I was getting into, which if you follow us on Instagram, you've seen the Montalk project reel that I did. So me and my husband actually watched all of the seasons of Stranger Things, which now I know too much and I probably couldn't watch it again. But
I only watched 2, I think season 3.
We watched them all. There's still one more coming.
That's the thing about knowing too much, is like it ruins shows for you.
It really
does.
You
can't I can't watch anymore. Even though I want to know what the ending is. I just can't do it.
My husband's really bummed. I was like, that's not playing in our house, so we're not watching that.
And I honestly think it is one of those things, though, the more you know, the more you let in almost. You know what I mean? Like
Maybe.
before we were aware of it,
Mhm.
maybe we weren't. I mean, you still are allowing, you're opening up those like portals or whatever.
Maybe.
I think the more you know, if you continue in it, it's like he gets a bigger foothold.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
I don't know, but I can't watch it anymore as much as I want to know.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it either, which is really sad because, like I said, we've watched them all. But yeah, so then I got into like, okay, I want to watch like what actually happened. So that was interesting. We both watched the same documentary on it, and it's basically MK Ultra. So I'm like, I'm assuming this is like how it started.
But it also is just like so sad because they were saying they like take homeless people off the street.
I know.
They take homeless people off the streets and then they just do tests on them.
Which is so, and like kids.
Yeah. Which is what they did in the MK Ultra, except I think they were taking, if I'm remembering right, like from the military, they weren't getting permission. They were just doing these things to the military, like people in the military, and doing these heinous things to them to test out. I mean, just to be able to control them, basically. Because if you can just like, so essentially it's like the trauma-based stuff. If you can traumatize someone enough, you can control them and they just become what you want, which is what we see in Hollywood all the time. But you know what I was just seeing this thing about, in Hollywood, you see a lot like celebrities will go all blonde, like shave their head and go all blonde. And they're saying like that is a way that they signify to all the elitists, basically, like this person went too far or pushed too far. And then they take them and like you see it happen to Kanye, Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus. Like they either shared too much or they have just
like Britney when she shaved her head.
Or they've just been involved and like they take them in and they do ultra type stuff to them. Like, you know, Kanye was basically like his thing. Even now, oh gosh, this was the other thing. Sorry, now we're going on. I saw this thing about somebody saw a homeless man on a street and they were recording him. It looks just like Kanye.
Oh,
like,
yeah, you sent me that.
Did you see that?
That was pretty weird. It really did look like him, but it was super creepy.
Someone said they were using a filter on a homeless person, but I wouldn't put it past, because there was a time, I will say the Kanye that I've been seeing recently looks like Kanye, but there was a time when it didn't look like him. Like he was literally like misshapen.
No, I know. But like Brian, Demon Erasers, has said that sometimes when demons get in you, they can like change your facial features. So I was wondering if that's the same.
That could be it. Yeah.
I don't know.
But so he went blonde at one point. They're just saying, so it's like when they step out of line, basically, they like put them back into the MK Ultra like programming, and then they shave their heads, they bleach it, and I think it's more so of like a signifying to the other elites, like, don't mess with us. To you. I mean, I don't know how all that stuff works, but I feel like a lot of it is, it's like they're just showing them like, you don't step out of line. We control you. Don't try it, you know, which is just crazy. But I mean, all that stuff happens. It even happens with us. And like, that's why we're talking about like not watching those shows anymore. Like they totally use television to traumatize us. I mean, you hear people talk about this all the time with Disney movies, but it's like a mom or dad will die. It
starts off every time. It really does. And now I notice it.
Yeah, every time.
And now I notice it in every show. I'm like, pretty much so, like most of the shows we watch, it's like trauma is the beginning.
Yeah, which is like, they call them programs, which that like blew my mind when someone put that in perspective. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what it is. Like they're totally programming us.
Yeah.
That's why people who are addicted to the news, it's like, I just can't, I almost can't talk to people who listen to the news because it's so like, you just heard anything they tell you, you believe as truth. It's like they'll point blank like lie to you. Like even, I can't say the word, but you know, 2020 stuff. When that was happening, you could literally look up the facts of what was happening with I don't know what words we can use. We need to look this up. The pokey.
I don't know.
Like we knew, like they literally told us the side effects and things that were happening. But the news would say that's not true, but you could look it up on the website and that was the actual fact. But people won't believe it because
that's
news
not
is
what the news
programming.
said. Yeah,
it's programming them. So it's just like crazy because it literally still happens.
I mean, it's like the same as school. You know, it's like
Oh, yeah.
whatever we're taught in school, if that's not what we're taught, then everybody has such a hard time
Yeah.
believing it. And it's like,
You know what else I was just reading that, like, when you go to kindergarten, like early on elementary school,
Mhm.
they use bright colors like when you go to class, because that makes kids feel safe, and that makes them feel like they can trust their environment and it's welcoming.
Mhm.
And then by the time you get to high school, they start like, you're in like cemented walls, everything's metal, it's really dull. And that's another way of them controlling you. They get you when you're little, you feel safe, and then they start to control you, and then it's
Mhm.
like you're imprisoned. And that's exactly, I mean, even think about
Yeah.
schools, like even ours, we went to a private school. I'm sure all schools are like this actually, but like you're enclosed in a freaking gate. Like
Mhm. Yeah.
you're gated in.
Yeah.
And they say that's for our safety, but it just makes me feel like we're in a prison.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It's literally the same thing as being in
Mhm.
prison. And you're just being told what you're allowed, like you can't question things,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, you can just tell it's like, yeah, from the time you're 5 years old, starting in school, they're just like programming you to, this is what you do. You go Monday through Friday, you know, and you do your time.
Yeah.
And that's just like going to be your life for the rest of your life until you are hopefully able to retire when you're 65
that's
or
the thing,
whatever.
is we don't even, like, a lot of people don't have the time freedom to question things. You're in
Mhm.
school, you think about it, you go to school until you're, well, now people go to college until they're like, what, 25? Is that when people graduate? Like,
Yeah, like
24?
before maybe, and then a lot of people do their masters.
Yeah.
So, and then what's above your masters? I don't even know. We don't know.
I got an associate's degree, and that's it. So.
I know, but it's just like, that's just like the norm. You just do. And if, I don't know, it's just weird. It's like everybody just wants to fit in like the bubble and they don't want to cause any commotion,
Mhm.
you know, like with our thoughts, like
Yeah.
too. It's like you just want to be normal. It's like we're not supposed to, like even the Bible says we're not supposed to be like the world. Like we're supposed to be different.
Yeah.
And I think that, I'm not saying you have to like not do a normal job, but it's just like with everything. I don't know, just like think for yourself and like ask the Holy Spirit to reveal this stuff to you.
Yeah, I think that's the point of they want us enslaved to our jobs, because it's like, look how many people have to work 50 plus hours a week just to pay their
Just
bills.
to like barely survive.
Yeah, and so you have no time to think. Like really,
Mhm.
especially if you have a family, you come home, you work those 50 hours, you come home, you're exhausted, but you give time to your family, and then you go to bed.
Mhm.
Then you do it all over again. Like what time do you have to think anything through? You know?
I know. Yeah, it is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like the Millennial Reign. Oh, do we have?
Because they won't be prepared for a job. Maybe that's good. Yeah, really though.
I know. You know what? And with homeschooling too, I feel like somebody, Talia, like it is, if anybody follows her, she just posted about like when you homeschool, it also like makes siblings bond so much stronger. And I think that's also like a benefit that they don't want us to have. They want to be splitting everybody up and dividing families. So it's like when you're homeschooling, I do feel like the bonds, like my sister and I, we were homeschooled and we did have our time where we weren't the closest, but I don't know. I just feel like it builds that bond.
Yeah, but even the time you weren't the closest, wasn't that when you started going to school? Like real school? Did you say?
Yeah, probably.
Because it's just like, think about it, it's like your best friends become whoever you're in class with. And not that that's bad, we have really good friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Class, but it's like, yeah, I want my kids to be best friends.
Yeah,
I
forever.
want them to know their siblings, you know?
Yeah.
And like you said, like, they won't be prepared for a job. But think about how many kids are going to school. They're gaining this debt to have a job to pay off that debt. Whereas like homeschool kids, they're learning skills. Like we talked about this before, but like my oldest is already learning how to do woodworking. It's like he could totally use that one day as a job and have, you know, maybe trade school and stuff.
Yeah.
But like my husband has his own business, and it's like we could pass that along to my kids without them even having to go to school and pay off debt. It's like you don't even get to enjoy the money you're making because you're paying off all your debt. So that's exactly what they want, though. It's like, you know.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's just, I just don't even understand it. It's like we're not, and that's not how God intended for us not to enjoy our lives. Like, you know, it's like we don't even get to be, our biggest blessings are our spouses and our children, and yet we don't get to spend time.
Yeah.
Because we're working to the bone.
For sure. And it's like another way where they're trying to divide the family, it's just like with all these things, it's not promoting your family, like closeness. So it's crazy.
It is crazy. It's crazy too. I just a lot of tangents, I guess, but I was just thinking, like, I just saw this thing that was talking about, like, isn't it crazy we live in a world? It's like a mom holding her baby, like, it's like we live in a world that is convinced that this is oppression. And it's like that is the like most like there's nothing more pure than holding your baby and being a mom. And then we have this like this whole abortion. I don't know if that's another word that you can't say, but we have this whole abortion thing that's telling women. We have the feminist movement that's like women could do whatever they want. They're so strong, but they're not strong and powerful enough to have a baby and do it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I just don't get that. And then I was like reading this thing talking about how dads in that predicament, we're really going on tangents, but like dads who want to up and leave their family because it gets too hard are frowned upon. But these moms who are like, I can't have a kid because it's going to mess up my life and they want to murder their baby. It's the same thing.
It is the same thing.
You're saying to yourself, I can't do it and I want to back out and not be responsible for my choices.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sure we'll get a lot of hate on this one for saying that. But it's like that's the fact of the matter. You can be a mom and have a job.
Yeah.
I'm thankful I don't have to have a job
But you can
do that, but you totally can. And wouldn't that be way more empowering to be like, I work a 9 to 5
and I'm a mom.
I'm a dang good mom.
Yeah.
I'm home.
Yeah, that's true.
And so,
yeah. I don't know. And Corbin said, and teaching them not to question history and other things. Exactly. It's like you go to school, you're trained to just like have these jobs, and then you're also trained to not question what they teach you.
Yeah.
Like there is one way, and that's it. It's just crazy.
Which we talked about this in 1923. Spencer, what did he say? He was like,
yeah,
it's like they only teach you in school
what they want you to know. Yeah.
So it's like
it's facts.
It's literally just what they want you to. Either it's false what they're teaching you, or it's just a little part, like a little snippet.
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. We're just so like, we just believe what we're taught as kids. That's just how it is. And so like, even with like church stuff, like we've talked so much, like growing up in the church, and it's like, we were only taught there's one way. And then, just to find out, it's just like everything we were ever taught was like not facts.
Yeah.
Is like, wow. Like it just makes you question everything.
I know. Well, and then it's like, that's part of like we were just saying, like on there, they build that trust, and then it's like.
Oh, Corbin said you need the mic closer to you. Maybe you should like turn it so you're a little.
I'll just get closer. But yeah, it's like they get you to trust like these people. That's the whole point, is you trust so much that when you do start to question, they're like, no, you're wrong. You trust them enough that they care about you, that you're not going to keep questioning it. So then you just kind of shut that part of you down,
Yeah. I think like that's where it just makes it so hard for like, okay, like thinking more of Revelation 20. It's immediate, like, oh, that's not what we believe, it's wrong. Immediately, that's your first initial reaction.
Yeah. I mean, even for us who now believe it, it's like, this cannot be.
There's just no way. Right. Yeah. So then you start to read for yourself, and you're like, whoa, this really isn't what they tell us in church. And then it comes down to even like different things, like the story of the ark, Noah and the ark. Yeah. It's like there was more animals than just the 2, right?
Yeah, it was 7 of each.
So it's like there's just like all these little things, and I'm gonna say it is not biblical.
Yeah, it's not biblical. It literally isn't.
So there's so many things, and it's like
third temple and not biblical.
No, it's just crazy. So it just is like, once you start realizing like over and over and over again, we're taught all these things, that it's like there's a lot of truth to it, but you're also not getting the full truth.
But that's even what's crazy is that's what they do, like even in Hollywood with the elites. It's like they have to give you a little bit of the truth.
Yeah.
Like that's the best way to get people to believe this lie, because even for us, some of the things, the signs that we're supposed to look for, there is like little bits of that in the word, like the red heifers, for instance. Like there is
mention of red
just read
heifers.
that.
Yeah, it's in there. So
Yeah.
it's like you don't question it because you're like, oh, well, it was mentioned in the Bible, but it's not in the context that they're telling
That's
us.
the problem. Yeah, is they just take things out of context a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like, really. So yeah, that's where it's hard. Somebody said MLB shows over and over how historians won't tell us certain things if it challenges the narrative to which they say that.
Is that
Major League Baseball? How are we getting into baseball over here? They really say this? Are you going to respond?
Won't tell us certain things if it challenges the narratives. Yeah. I mean, that's true, though.
I mean, true. But I'm just curious, where are you going with this?
Major League Baseball. I don't know anything about baseball, so.
I only know what my son tells me.
But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Now I'm my train of thought.
Yeah, way to go.
Now I'm just thinking about, my lunch break.
I was like, Major League Baseball. Okay, my lunch break tells us over. Okay, I'm gonna reread this. My lunch break shows us over and over again how historians won't tell us certain things if it challenges the narrative. That is a fact.
Yeah.
My lunch break. Yes.
Sorry. We're slow.
Oh my god. No, it's so true. If you guys don't watch my lunch break, it's crazy. He's been getting into some really good ones. We were actually just talking about this
I need
today.
to watch. I need to catch up.
It's like, okay, once you've seen the first like 100, you kind of get the idea. Not that they're not good, but it's like, okay, I get it. But now he's getting into like why we have dams happening and how so many dams in America and all over the world. And then in the last one he talked about there's only a few buildings that don't have the like toilets and stuff in them. But he was talking about that, and I just find that so fascinating. You just need to watch it.
Well, it's fascinating because it's like up until the past, I don't know, I only started hearing about these buildings
like 2 years
since
maybe?
that video. The why do I always forget the name of that video? The long one.
Oh,
the super long
history
one of Flat Earth. Yeah. Like, so I mean, that's still only been like 5 or 6 years, but like up until then, I literally never questioned any of that stuff. I never would have been like, "There's no bathrooms." I would have been like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Like, what do we all think? We don't. That's the problem.
That is the problem.
Nobody thinks for themselves anymore, including myself.
Yeah.
Up until I'm shown something that's so like, I feel like that video made me like, okay, there's so many things going on in the world that I've literally never even thought twice about, and why haven't I?
It is strange, like that we don't think. We literally don't think. We're just
I don't think people want to anymore.
Yeah, is it too much? It's like too.
I mean, you think about Pokey Pokeys. A lot of people, it's like, I mean, the inserts are so dang long. Like, I almost don't blame people. Like, who wants to read? I haven't read all the inserts, but I've read a few of them, and it's just like, who wants to do that? It's easier to just trust that your doctor, someone you think you can trust, is telling you the truth.
You know, it's like even with food. My husband and I were just watching something that was saying, it's like they tell you salt is so bad for you.
I know.
And it's so good for you. And it was saying like when you have, was it saying?
What?
I think it was saying
for your brain, right?
Well, no, it was saying like if you have a heart attack or something and they put you in an ambulance, the first thing they do is put saline into your body.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It's like all the things they tell us, like don't eat butter, don't eat salt, don't eat meat, like all these things.
And I vividly remember this for some reason. In high school, I believe, my parents were watching the news, and there was a thing that was like, avocados are now like the fat in them they're too fattening for us to be eating or something, and like they're bad for you. But it's like constantly coming and going, like eggs, like all the things that are actually good for you are the only things that show up in the news that they're like, oh, we've actually heard this is bad for you. It's like, okay, well, what about hot Cheetos? Which, don't get me wrong, I used to love hot Cheetos, but it's like you never see anything about hot Cheetos.
No,
it's like literally filled with dye. But like, no eggs, nope, can't eat those. Avocados, nope, can't eat those.
Yeah,
it's great. And we don't even think twice. It's all on the news. That must be true. I know. You can't trust anybody.
You just really can't. It's so terrible.
I'm like looking at you through this. It's like kind of throwing me.
Okay. We're going to talk about Mandela, but if anybody has any questions, we're open for questions, but we can start talking about Mandela.
Yeah. Well, these are my new thoughts on it. I feel like most people have heard about the Mandela Effect by now. My father-in-law got me into them, and he just recently showed us a new documentary on them. But my thoughts have changed a little, so I'm watching it, and you know the big ones like Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump, and he says life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And then you have like
I don't know that one.
I don't remember. I don't know what the difference is.
Mhm.
I can't remember what he says. I should look it up.
I
But
don't know that one.
so there's that one, and then there's the Darth Vader one. But what got me is so in this documentary, it was showing like interviews with the actual people who did like with Tom Hanks, and then what's the guy who does Darth Vader's voice? I know it. It's gonna drive me nuts. But anyways, like there would be interviews, or there's even like there's an SNL skit with Tom Hanks, and he's saying the line the way that everybody remembers it, but that's not how it is in the movie. And same with the guy who does Darth Vader. He was in another show or something, and he makes a comment like pertaining to that quote, and he says, "Luke, I am your father." And so I'm starting to think it's not so much, and I'm not saying that they can't use CERN or these things to like go back in time and spiritually or like in another realm
I
to
don't know
manipulate
how I feel
things.
about that. It's so
But
like
I'm kind of starting to think that they're like these celebrities and things and these big companies are in on it. Like Tom Hanks and this guy know what we like, they're pushing the false way of believing it. Does that make sense? So like they're doing these extra interviews and skits and things, and they're saying the line the way they want us to remember, so that when we go back and watch these movies and stuff, we're like, wait a minute, did this change? So is it, maybe it's not really changing. Maybe it's that's what it is, but they're falsifying it. Like
the one that I can't get over is
Fruit of the Looms.
Oh, the Fruit of the Loom. That's a good one too. The Fruit of the Loom. It definitely had that thing.
Yeah, like it's just that's crazy. The Berenstain
But the Berenstain Bears. It was the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
Not the Berenstein Bears. Is that what they say it is?
Like Berenstain,
Stain.
like stain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why would they manipulate such small things? I don't know. That's
I
my
think
question.
to make us stop trusting our own like gut feelings and thoughts, because then it's like, oh, like if I can't even remember these small things correctly,
That's true.
or like I'm remembering this, maybe I'm misremembering.
Oh, and then there's like the Bible one.
The Lord's Prayer.
The Lord's Prayer. No, I was going to say the one about the wolf.
The Lion and the Lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one trips me out too.
That one trips me out.
That one trips me out because I remember seeing a Bible, like where it was on the cover.
Like a picture of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel like too. That one's like, I think the weirdest. Probably to see what
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't want us to trust our own thoughts, you know? Because then it's like, God gave us our common sense and our own thoughts to be able to think through things. So if they can get us to be like, you can't even think or remember things right, like little things, you know?
That's true.
But I'm just like, a lot of people, I think it could be both. I think they could be possibly using CERN to go into some kind of spiritual, because obviously they're doing satanic rituals.
So this is what I didn't get into with the Montalk project. It's like they start, so like in Stranger Things, they go into the upside down, right? And there's that creature that they see. Yeah. And it ends up coming into real life. And that's what it was like in the real Montauk project. They said something came out of there that was not from this world. And they had to like literally, like a demon or something. And they had to shut the whole thing down. So it's like, I think they were actually going into the spiritual realm. And then something actually physically came back. Isn't that crazy?
That is really weird.
I don't know
what was the like, so those creatures that showed up on the beaches, what are they are they just doing experiments in there?
I don't know if they were saying that like,
or those are part of the creatures
that came out of there, but it was happening around the same area. So I don't really know.
There's just weird stuff going on.
But also
there.
It's like, what is in our oceans?
I don't think we know the half of it. Especially after reading Babylon's thing. If there's that whole like, we're not even allowed to go in a boat across it, right? So it's like, what could possibly be
Well,
there?
what is the percentage that they say? They say we've only explored like 5% of our oceans or something like that. So it's like, what the heck is in there? And then also, if like, okay, because we're told like outer space is like space, right? What did they say?
Ranging from 5% to a mere 0.001% of the deep sea floor.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it's like, okay, I just like had this thought the other day of like, okay, they say that outer space is space.
Mhm.
Okay, it's actually just water because there's water all around us. So it's like
Yeah.
they only know 5% because, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like they know that there's water all around us.
Yeah.
So they know we
mean like the firmament.
The firmament,
Like,
yeah. So I just think, I don't know, but people were speculating like that maybe those creatures came from the Montauk Project, or
like from the other realm,
maybe.
Okay.
Or they were like, another person was just saying,
well, they
like,
were doing like drug experiments, right?
So yeah, in the Montauk experiment, it started with they would give them hallucinogens, and then they would like traumatize them, like do like torture things to them. To
should I just live on here too? See if we get any questions.
Yeah, I could.
Sorry, keep going.
So that they could like get them to get into these other dimensions. So it's just very interesting. It's just like, sorry, you're distracting me.
Sorry. We're just gonna go live on everything.
We're live on Instagram. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with all this. I got distracted.
Sorry, that was my fault. But yeah, the other just like bringing things in from the other dimension.
Oh, because you were talking about CERN and going to the other dimensions. And so then it's like, yeah, it's like they were going to other dimensions there too. So I think they know how to get to the physical realm, which is crazy. Yeah. But I don't know. The whole Mandela stuff is crazy.
And I feel like that all goes together because I've always like when I first started looking into CERN, it was like they were going in to another realm through CERN to manipulate time and things that have happened. And that'd be the same as this. They're going into another realm. So I don't know. The whole thing is just so trippy. And just so like, just the fact that they can do experiments on humans and not even care. It makes me think that the people who are like really, really in charge, like, are they even human? Or are they just this like empty vessel that these demons are?
I feel like, I mean, my thought would be like they're like the Nephilim, because I've always heard like the Nephilim are like, they are like the kings. You know what I mean? Like they're all the royals. They're I don't know if they would be our president.
Maybe.
I don't know. I just feel like anybody who's like really in charge is probably a Nephilim. Right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they say I watched this thing on who knows how true this is, but this lady's outside of the palace. What's the palace called? In
Versailles?
No, in that the queen lived in. So. Why am I blanking? I
Corbin,
don't know.
do you know?
Palace. You know,
she
the main
knows
palace.
all about the royals over here. So,
oh, I have. You know what? I just saw that Princess Diana. I've always been fascinated by Princess Diana because I was little when it happened, and my mom was obsessed with it. But like the car she got into, you guys, this is all. But the car she got into that they picture her getting into has a totally different license plate than the car after she crashes. So it's like all this stuff is all fake. Everything's fake. But okay, my point was with that. Sorry,
like,
with the queen. Okay, the queen. Sorry, I got sidetracked. With the queen. Hello. Hi. The queen they were saying was a reptilian. Like this lady said she was part of the like not willingly part of the ritual, but the queen came before her and physically changed into a reptilian.
Oh, I feel like
I think I sent it to you.
This to me. That was really crazy.
So it does make me think that all the higher ups and stuff like are these.
Yeah, she was saying like she would like. Didn't she say she'd make her watch her change?
Yeah,
like
into the reptilian. A ritual. Like I don't know if it was to cause that trauma and fear.
Yeah, that girl was like
Buckingham Palace. Thank you, Corinne.
I was like,
I knew it. I knew it.
No, but she was saying, like, she's like telling people, she's like, do you think I want to be like out here doing this? Like, she's like, I'm telling this because it's the truth. Like, she was
which
just,
I believe
so
and I don't believe. Like, don't you think they'd kill her if she saw the truth? Or do you think it's like she sounds so crazy that they're just like, whatever, nobody's gonna believe her?
It was like, I felt like I did believe her.
I
but It was
did.
such a crazy story. I was like, I'm not sure.
I did because I believe all those elitists. Like, I just feel like that's how they continue on with this powers. They're not really humans. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you see the like the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, I think they like interbreed. So I would assume they're human because they're interbreeding, but I don't know. I feel like they gained their power because they were like, if the little season happened, then it's like when 1776 hit.
Don't tell me Princess Diana was
No,
reptilian.
I think she wasn't. I think that's why they. I don't know.
I don't know anything
I
about the
love
royals.
Princess Diana.
So.
Oh my gosh, how do you what?
You know, all I know is Meghan Markle, and I loved her in Suits. It's the only way I know her.
Meghan Markle.
I know nobody loves Meghan Markle.
Sorry if you see
but
this,
I love
but
her.
there's just something about you.
I really like her.
You destroyed the royal family.
That's what I've heard. And I just
But I
remember,
don't like the royal family anymore either.
What's that one show? Corbin, what's the show that you love about all the royals?
Like
what's the show?
I've watched it. Queen, isn't it called like The Queen or something?
Is that what it's called?
I don't know. But
she loves that show. I did watch the first few seasons. It's the one where they change every 2 seasons of people in it, and I couldn't get past like the first change.
I don't remember that. No.
What is it called? Corbin, are you listening? She's obsessed with it. I don't know. The Crown. Thank you so much. I mean I liked that show, but I'm just like not super into the.
Oh my gosh, I had the biggest crush on. Was it Prince William?
Oh,
he was so handsome, and now he's just like.
Wow. No, but like everybody was so obsessed with like the wedding of Meghan Markle.
I know.
That was like when we were in college.
Yeah,
and I remember everybody was literally staying up to watch it. And I was
even the one when
she said you get my messages so late. Sorry.
Yeah, that we're having a bit of a delay.
It's just my computer.
But we have the Kate and the Princess Kate, or she's not Queen. Princess Kate and William. Theirs was on The Office. Remember that episode of The Office?
I don't remember that one actually.
Well, I think it was like Mindy Kaling. What's her character in it?
Oh my gosh. I'm blanking on her name.
Anyway, she's like talking about the royal wedding and like,
oh my god, that's her name. That's gonna bug me now.
But yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know, but there's just so many conspiracies. The thing is there's just so much about all the elitists. There's just so many weird things. Like we were talking about Justin Bieber and the whole Diddy case. It's like he's saying he had no part in it, but it's like at the same time there's literal footage of him at 13 years old saying he's staying with Diddy for a weekend. So I was like, what is a grown man doing with a 13-year-old?
And it's like
and that's
so
normal
weird.
for that.
Yeah,
you know?
I want to know what's going on with Justin Bieber because like it makes me sad. I've seen him in concert. It was such a jamming concert, and it was so fun. And it's like it's hard because with him, you've always seen the struggle of like he's a believer, right? But you can see his like battle, you know. And so I think like for Christians, maybe especially, we really have like a soft spot in our hearts for him, especially us because we like grew up with him. I mean, he was a little young for us, but we still liked him.
Was he? Isn't he the same age?
No, he's younger than us.
Oh.
World. Wow. But my sister had the biggest crush on him. My mom also had the biggest crush on him.
I just wanted him and Sleep to be together, and now she's
still stuck on this.
I'll never get over it.
It's sad. It breaks my heart. And it's like some people are saying like, oh, he has no connection to it. And it's like, is that JB saying, I don't want any relation to this. I don't want people to feel pity for me. Or is it people like saying, oh, he has no reason to be crazy, kind of like Britney Spears? You know, it's like, what is the truth? But it is so sad. And there's so much out on it right now. I was telling you, even TMZ has a little mini thing on it, and I want to watch, like, what would they have to say about it?
It's just sad because that stuff, I think it's so hard for us to grasp who live in the work, like, real world, that's just part of life there. If you're like a child star, it's almost like if you're going to be big one day, you have to sacrifice something. Everybody does in Hollywood. Like for fame and wealth, you have to sacrifice something, you know? And I just think, I mean, I've heard rumors Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber, like, they were at a I don't know how true this is, you never know, but I wouldn't put it past them. They were at a Hollywood party, and they actually were pregnant, and they literally, like, sacrificed their baby, like, I don't know if they cut it out as I don't even wanna go into details, but I don't know how they did it, that's just this would be awful if it got back to them. Maybe we should ask.
I know.
They're still real people, but
I know.
this is just what I'm reading, and it kinda, like, it Selena Gomez says she can't have children anymore, so then it's like all
said
those
that?
things yeah,
Oh, I didn't know.
she can't have kids, so
Hmm.
it's just like all those things click, and like that stuff really does happen, and we just are like, no, that's just like
That's
crazy.
the
But
thing, is it just sounds so insane that people are like unwilling to believe it. And that's again
But
like
when you're in a satanic cult, like that is the norm. That isn't shocking for them. It's shocking for us because we're not just sacrificing babies. I mean,
yeah.
unless you include abortion, but we're not just like sacrificing babies.
Corbin said Candace Owens says he was trying to get involved, so they're steering him.
Mhm.
I mean, definitely something. I just like I
Yeah.
would love to know what's going on with him, and we
Mhm.
should just be praying for him, I guess, because I feel so sad for him.
I do feel sad for him.
I don't know.
And now he
Poor
has a
babes.
baby,
I know.
and that's probably scary. If you're someone who like grew up in that realm and you have your own kid, that's probably horrifying.
That's probably why he's trying to get out right now.
Probably.
You know?
But like, where's he gonna go? That's why they fake their own deaths. That's why,
Mhm.
like, Michael Jackson. I think Michael Jackson is alive.
I kind of do too.
Because there's that footage. I don't know if any of you've seen it, but the day when he died, and like the ambulance again, it's like it could be doctored, but I feel like it's just real. Like the ambulance pulls up, and you can see like from behind, it looks exactly like Michael Jackson. The hair, the body,
Yeah, I saw that.
walk into this thing. So what is that? Just from another time, or is that someone faking like they're Michael Jackson still alive, or is Michael Jackson still alive?
I don't know.
And I don't blame them because like it's so crazy that there would literally be no other way to like live a normal life except to fake your own death, you know?
Mhm.
And there was something when President Trump, I don't know if it was this time or the last time, but he made a comment like something about the celebrities who have faked their deaths could come out like something.
What?
I don't know how to, like I don't watch the real news, so I didn't hear it firsthand, but he was gonna like write into law like they would be
What?
like nothing would happen to them. I'm gonna have to look this up because I
Yeah,
read
you need
this,
to
but
look it up.
you just never know nowadays. It's like you gotta take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But wow, we really just
really gone on a This is how our normal conversations go, so it makes sense.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. But it is so. Oh, this is well. We're gonna go off of this. So this is something I was just sharing with Alyssa. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Oops. Sorry, Chase. I was about to block Chase on. Okay. Don't share. Okay. So I've been, reading. I'm sure most people, especially in this realm, why isn't this going out?
I don't know.
Believe that Michelle Obama, Big Mike,
Big
we like to call him, is actually a man. And then I've seen that a bunch of videos on so many of the first ladies, and they all so many look like men, and you never notice that because like up until I don't know this whole TRNS movement. I don't know if we can say that word again.
Probably not.
Didn't happen until like it wasn't this huge until I'd say like the past 5 years, right? But
yeah.
So I never even thought to pay attention. I've always loved Jackie Kennedy. So I saw this thing with all the first ladies.
Somebody said, "Want to go down a rabbit hole and check out this movie?" Ooh. So JFK. Okay, I've been super into that. I actually just watched Candace Owens. I don't know if you've seen hers.
I just got done with Lively.
Oh, I just listened to all the Blake Lively stuff. That's a whole other thing. But the JFK stuff, so Candace Owens has her own. I mean, she made a pretty compelling argument of what she thinks.
Oh,
I'm definitely going to have to check that out. Thank you so much.
I saw that son, right? It's his son, the one that died in the plane, who's so handsome that he's still alive.
That's the point.
That's the point. He's so handsome. But he faked his own death too.
Oh.
Because I don't know.
actually don't think I know anything about that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. He's the one that, when the Q stuff was happening, they were
Uh-huh.
like, he's going to come back and run for president because he's actually still alive.
Oh, wow.
And I was really hopeful in the fact that I don't think that's the case. But so we're like looking at all these, and they truly do, like so many of them look like men. And then there's this picture of, it was with all the first ladies, but then I saw this one, I'm hoping it will show me, of
there we go.
of Jackie Kennedy. Okay, that picture of her in particular looks so familiar. And then I'm like, okay, I know I've seen like someone like that. That Dylan Mulvaney does not look like Jackie Kennedy.
Totally.
And so then I'm like, oh my gosh, she is. She totally
She could
is.
be. She definitely could be a tranny. Yeah.
But why? Why do they do this? Is it humiliation? Is it just to like manipulate us so that we think it's normal to look like a man when we're women?
I will definitely let you know.
I've seen it, but this movie got me like, whoa. Super cool perspective to take. Let me know if you watched. It blew my mind. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it for sure.
We should watch it tonight.
Yeah.
We'll watch it tonight.
Yeah.
We're having sleepovers.
so I don't forget.
Yeah, that's a good idea because I'm gonna forget. Yeah, it's so crazy. I've never been super into like she's like obsessed with Jackie Kennedy, and I'm like, I'm not into all these like royals.
Well, I always liked
all that stuff. I don't know.
I always liked JFK. Now I don't think I like anybody.
I don't like
because
anybody
it's
at
just
this
like I
point.
learn more and more.
After JFK, no, RFK,
the one that's
the one that's
Robert.
Why do I get so confused with their names? After he said the best, what did he say? The best way to not get the is to get the pokey.
Sorry.
It's like after he said that, I was like, what? And okay, this is what blew my mind. Another Candace Owens. She did a podcast about this, and he wrote a book 5 years ago that said they use these like world things.
Forums.
No, I'm not world, but like when something happens and there's an outbreak, right? There's a big outbreak. They literally specifically use that to push the thing to prevent it.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally wrote that 5 years ago in the book. And now he is doing the exact same thing that he said that they use. And it's like, now I don't trust you at all.
Well, I said it before and I'll say it again because I used to like him back when I first was born.
No, I did too. Yeah.
I think he's been playing the long game. He's just like, I'm going to get all the anti-vaxxers on my side.
Watch your
words.
I
don't know what we could say. It's just like profanity.
You're going to get banned.
But like, he got all that whole side on his side, and then he flipped the script. You know?
I know.
Like, I guess he hasn't totally, but it's like he just played the long game so that we would be on his side.
He did.
And then they can manipulate those who trust him. Again, it's all about like trusting these people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how do I go about this? Oh yeah, okay. See, first ladies being for. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yes.
Okay, yeah, we saw
Did you
that.
watch the one?
No, but I've seen it. I need to watch it.
I'm very Alyssa. I like Candace Owens, but I am a little skeptical of her
in
some
like
regards.
her.
But she does offer so many facts.
She really does.
Like her,
it is.
But I do question if she's controlled up. But there's so many. I mean, there is no denying that Brigitte Macron, whatever. You didn't watch it.
I did not.
Oh my gosh,
I need to watch it.
So, like, it's almost frustrating because all these things are so blatantly obvious. Like now, even looking at Jackie Kennedy, I'm like, the reason she looks identical to that Dylan Mulvaney is because she herself is.
Yeah. I know.
It's just crazy.
I know.
But yeah, that one's even more creepy because technically her son, right, or something. I don't know.
That one is like really dark, and I feel like I need to be in the right mindset.
If you even see, like, I only heard about Emmanuel Macron because back in 2020, his name is, people were saying he was the Antichrist because his name is like altogether means something like, Emmanuel means God with us, and then Macron is, what does it mean? It's something crazy that was like, gosh, he must be the Antichrist. Clearly he's not because he's
Jimmy's favorite word.
Let's see. What is macron? It's so much better. Let's take a look at that. Oh, it means the mark. So like mark, like a mark of the beast. I think that's what people are trying to put together. I don't know, but
what's Event 201? Do you know what that is?
I don't know.
Are we idiots? What's Event 201? I'm trying to think of what that is. I can't think of what that is.
I don't know.
It's gonna take forever to respond. Yeah, look it up.
Let's see.
Event 201. I'm thinking of what's the 2030 thing?
3.5 hour pandemic tabletop exercise. Oh, yeah. It was like an exercise, basically, essentially what happened in 2020, right, Corbin? So it's like they already knew it was going to happen. That's what, when they say the world's a stage, it truly is.
It really is.
And the sad thing is when you're people like us and you know it is, there's still nothing you could do about it. Like, just before I came on our trip, my whole family got, I don't even know what. We all were so sick, and we all had different symptoms. And I was just telling Melissa, I was like, I know it's something they sprayed, and it's like we can know that, and we literally can't do anything.
There's nothing to do, which is
and like we feed our kids well, and we don't do the pokies.
How many times can you say it?
But so it's like we do the best we can, and we still can't. Obviously we're all gonna get sick sometimes, but it's like this was like
it was
ridiculous. For sure, it was literally like almost going on 2 weeks of all like between all of us.
Yeah,
and you had that before,
yeah,
with your kids. So it's just like
it's crazy.
That everything is just
it's different. Yeah, and yeah, that's the sucky part. Is like all these things are happening, but what can you do? Like you just all you can do is take the best care of your body and like hope you handle it.
Furthers my belief that we are in Revelation 20
for sure.
And it's like we've kind of talked about those of us who are like little seasonists, whatever you want to. It's hard to know.
I know we saw Cult of Fun said that we should rename the season. I'm so down. We need to think of a new name. Me and my husband were talking about it. We were like, what should it be called? And I was like, literalist. Like we literally just take the Bible.
Exactly, literally.
Take it up.
And it's just like.
So if anybody has a name,
though, that we're in that, and like I think for a lot of people, hearing you're in the short season causes fear. It doesn't for me. It's like I know God's on the throne.
I feel so much calmer.
It just makes me realize why everything. It makes way more sense. The fact that so many first ladies are actually men, and it's not even like I don't even feel like that's up for debate. I mean, you look at Michelle Obama. He has called her Michael.
Yeah.
Nobody called. My husband doesn't call me James on accident sometimes. Like
right. Yeah.
Like that doesn't make any sense, and like just everything about him. It's just like, anyways, it's not up for debate, but it makes everything make more sense, which for me is more comforting because it's like, I know the Lord sits on the throne, and I know He's coming back, and He has the ultimate victory. So it doesn't put fear in me. I think for some it does, because who wants to think they're in a short season of Satan?
I don't know. I've never felt scared thinking that.
I think maybe just people who don't have I can't wrap their mind around it fully. It just sounds like fear, like we're in Satan's short season.
Yeah, but it's like, but if you actually understand what it means, I feel less fear because for me, I always felt like, okay, everybody's saying we're going to be raptured before the tribulation, but what if they're wrong? Like, I always was super scared. Like, what if we're wrong and we have to live through this? Like, this is going to, the Bible literally says there will be nothing like it before and nothing like it after, right? Doesn't it say that? Yeah. So it's like, I was absolutely terrified to have to go through that. So to me, it's almost like, okay, now I don't have to worry about that. And it's like, if this battle comes about, I'm going to recognize that and I'm not going to be a part of it. So to me,
be fearful of it.
I'm not going to be scared. Right. So to me, I think it's not as scary, but I know a lot of people, they immediately are like, oh, you took away my rapture. And there's no hope. And it's like, no.
Which is crazy.
Still have hope in God.
Kind of just left me with like, it's okay if I die, but it's also like if we
we've done a podcast on Second Esdras, and it's like from those verses, I think there is a possibility we don't die still. I mean, I don't know.
I just feel like I don't know.
And I feel like I don't care anymore. I don't
Yes.
care. I don't feel so like entitled to like, Lord, I don't want to have to die. You know, because I feel like that's kind of how I was. I was like, please let me be a part of the people who don't die. Please, God. Like, you know, and it's like now I'm just like, I don't care. Like my joy, my hope, and the gift that I have is Jesus Christ, being with him.
I just feel like whatever happens, happens. You know, if we have to die, we have to die. If we don't have to die, cool. Like I just feel like this overall puts your trust in God. I don't know. It's so different in his word, and you know he kept his word, so he's going to keep doing what he said he was going to do. I just feel like very comforted by that, and I just feel like I have way more peace now than I ever did.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah. So I think,
I mean,
if you that's the problem, is people don't understand it.
Yeah.
They just
Satan's
little season. Oh, this is deception. You're following Satan.
Yeah, because I think we're saying Satan is like in control, and that's we obviously know God is ultimately in control. But he says in his word, he will be let loose for a little season. So it would make sense that this time of like literally everything's mixed up. I mean, if you look at our summary of the little season, it's literally everything down. Like our food, you know, our doctors we can't trust. People literally don't know who or what they are. I mean, it's not even just that people think they're a girl when they're actually a boy, or a boy when they're a girl. They are thinking there's people out there who literally think they're like animals.
Oh, we're not getting
what?
We're not getting all of these. Oh, look, there's more that we're not.
Oh, they're here.
Oh my God.
What's up, Con? Hi.
We didn't even see you. We're
so oh man, that's funny. Yes, come on our show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
You guys, we missed so much. Jamie's.
I'm so sorry.
I was like, dang, everybody's talking.
Right here in Florida, someone about themselves. But now we have 4 to 6 low-flying planes every night. Mosquito prevention.
Oh, okay. That is interesting because we're in Texas, and me and my husband have been saying we're in Texas since almost June, and there's no mosquitoes yet. And we're like, why is there no mosquitoes? So I wonder if they're doing that here. That's very interesting. Corbin, you said, let's talk about postmillennialism. You missed it. You got to restart the show because we talked about it in the beginning. Oh, yeah, you can come back on.
Everybody is getting sick with the same. Our best friend in California. When we got sick, we were in New Mexico. And then our best friend in California, her husband got like the same thing that we were having. And it's like we're not even all. Like,
my sister she's had this cough, like a chesty cough, for like 3 weeks, and only her and one of her daughters got it. The other daughter didn't, and her husband didn't get it. And it's like, what?
I know, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we missed all these, you guys. I'm so sorry. We're getting it together now.
Yes, we are. Okay, if we die, let's just tell him we believe this way. Yeah, exactly. I always go back to that too, Jace. It's like,
yep.
Like, he's never going to be upset with us for being like, I just literally read your words. I'm so sorry. I took you out your word. Yeah, I mean, and at the same time, it's like, if the rapture's still going to happen,
he's still going to take us.
Like, it's not like we're going to be mad about it. Like, nope, we don't believe that no more. Don't take us.
I know.
Wait here, please.
I don't know. Maybe we've already said this, but there was a girl who literally said you basically have to have faith in the rapture to be raptured, which is like the most crazy thing I've ever heard. So I'm just like, Jesus would take us. He knows that we love him, we trust him, we believe him.
Yeah, bottom line is salvation is in Christ alone.
Yeah.
Let's see. I wanted to actually go over some verses. That's what? Wait, where are you at your Florida?
Is this Labella? Are you a boy or a girl? Because we're calling you a girl, but yeah, it's so crazy.
That is really weird.
I don't think, but you know what I did notice? I don't know. I think it was today before you guys came. Did you hear a lot of planes? A lot of really low planes. We don't ever have planes like that here.
I don't think so. I was probably
She's not used to these storms over here.
Oh, it's crazy. I love it, but it's crazy.
I love it so much. I love the Texas storm. I love it so
I
much.
just, you know, we both grew up going to Arizona. We both have family in Arizona. Like, I loved being there. I'd be
Like,
that was
yeah.
so it's a little
She survived her first tornado watch. It wasn't even a warning. So common symptoms are migraines, nausea, and vomiting.
What is that?
So like all the spraying that they're doing.
Oh, that makes sense. That's exactly. We had all of it, but
That's kind of weird.
yeah, we all had headaches. I had like extreme body aches, like so painful.
Okay, a girl. I'm like, I don't want to say you're calling you a girl if you're a boy.
But yeah, it's crazy. And it's just like, you just know it's not legit because it's all different symptoms.
That's
You know
what
what I
makes
mean?
no sense. And the timing of it is what trips me out. Because she got it. You and all your kids got it basically within a couple days.
Well, my youngest
She got it.
4 days later.
I had 4 days?
No,
it was like 2
days later, I got the body aches. But then I was fine. I was totally fine. Remember, I was messaging you kind of, I was like, I feel good today. I'm going to walk. Then the next day, my 3 other kids went down for the count. And then I got sick, like real sick. And then we all were feeling better. And then like 3 days after that,
it was so long after.
It was crazy.
But yeah, it's weird. Sicknesses are so different. It used to just be like, you all get it, you're done. And now it's like,
usually within
all
like same day.
Texans are hardcore. Y'all handle some bipolar weather like pros. I love the bipolar weather. It's why I love it here.
I don't know, but I wasn't afraid of the tornadoes until I started watching the rest of Ransom Canyon.
The tornado. That one was really crazy.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I was really freaked out when we moved here. We're both from California, so it was like really scary to come here because we always have perfect weather all the time there. Like you might get a hard rain every now and then, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Like 3 times a year you get some rain.
Otherwise it's perfect.
But I love the weather. You're not bored. I don't know. I just love the storms. It's the best.
Sit and like
it was really cool. We were outside watching it with my kids, and then it started hailing so hard. I was like, "Get inside!" My husband's like, "Calm down." I'm like literally like yelling, like, "Get inside!"
Well, I'm like worried because the car. Like, I did. I tell you when I was at the mall. I don't even know. She must have just like smelled it on me. That I wasn't from around
like,
her.
She's not a Texan.
And she's like, between these hours, we're getting a hailstorm. And I was like, oh. I was like, should I put my car somewhere safe? Like, I would. I was like, great.
I don't know. You know what? She's had his car out in hail that he said was like a golf ball size. It didn't even dent it. I was like, what? I don't know. It's really weird. But some people more north. Oh. You get worse hail up there too.
And you're supposed to have insurance, right? Do you have that on your car?
I don't know about hail insurance. I'm always in my garage. So what are you reading?
This is the specific post with.
Okay, yeah, let's get into this and then we'll end it because I feel like we're getting
into some scripture. This is about Jesus 70 AD, and these are the scriptures.
So someone posted this specifically about how we're not in Revelation 20.
So some of these scriptures, I'll just read the ones given, then we will.
You might know who she is. You might not.
It's okay for us to have different views. Like, we're totally okay with that. Like we said, we want to hear about this postmillennialism more because it's like, what if
I just want to understand it? Yeah, I just want to understand it.
I want to know. Yeah. Keep believing what I want.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 2 Timothy 2:17 through 18. And their talk will spread. Among them are, I don't know how to say his name, Hymenaeus and Philetus, who have swerved from the truth, saying that the resurrection has already happened. They are upsetting the faith of some. Verse 1:20. This charge I Timothy, my child, in accordance with the prophecies previously made about you, that by them you may wage the good warfare, holding faith and good conscience. By rejecting this, some have made shipwreck of their faith, among whom are Hymenaeus and Alexander, whom I handed over to Satan, so that they may learn not to blaspheme. That's just 2 of them. And I want to, with those 2 specifically, these scriptures are literally talking about people in that time. I mean, they're literally giving you the names of those people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's the importance of like reading scripture in the context. Like, Jesus hadn't returned in this time because he hadn't returned to these people were literally saying that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not saying that anybody who says that, because it's like, bottom line
Yeah,
too
it's
is
very
like at
specific.
some point he is going to return.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just never going to believe anybody. Like, that's the thing is
Mm-hmm.
like, this could go on forever if
Yeah.
we're gonna,
I know.
And I mean, they're literally naming the people.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the reason these people are coming up with this like idea that maybe we missed it is because Jesus had been there telling his disciples, he literally said, in your generation I will return. So these people are waiting because they know he said to us, our generation, he's coming back. So they probably are a little more like, oh my gosh, should we miss it? Because I'm getting old now, or something. Like,
Yeah,
I'm getting
that's the thing, is
older.
like he literally told them specifically, I'm coming back to you.
Mhm.
So they're obviously always going to be like, did we miss it? Did we miss it? Like, when's he
Yeah.
coming?
Which I don't blame them.
Which makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
complete sense.
Mhm.
But like for him to just say vaguely, you know what I mean? Like to just say it vaguely of like, oh, I'm coming back to that generation, that doesn't tell us anything. And you're changing the words of Jesus at that point. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I just can't feel it's very specific.
Yes.
Talking to these men in that time were the ones who were spreading this,
Mhm.
and they were calling them out because they knew Jesus hadn't returned yet.
Yeah.
But we have, like, the thing is we're saying Jesus returned in 70 AD, and we have historical, like, facts to back that up. It's not only do we believe that Jesus said that and he did it because his word says that,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also facts where during this time there was no like historical facts
Yeah.
to prove that.
Right.
Yeah. So they really were just probably, and I don't blame them if like Jesus told me I'm, like we've talked about this on another one. If Jesus literally came down and told us, you guys will be in the final battle, I would not assume I would die.
Right.
I would assume he said I'll be like there for the final battle. I'm going to be there for the final battle.
Exactly.
So why would his disciples speak otherwise?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like that's so to me, these two verses are irrelevant because he's literally speaking to these specific people: Hymenaeus, Philetus, and Alexander. And then you go to 2 Peter 2:3, and in their greed they will exploit you with false words. Am I too quiet? Okay. Exploit you with false words. Their condemnation from long ago is not idle, and their destruction is not asleep. Galatians 1:9. If anyone is preaching to you a gospel contrary to the one you received, let him be accursed. That one, Galatians 1:9. If anyone is preaching to you a gospel contrary to the one you received, we aren't preaching a gospel that isn't biblical.
Exactly.
We know that Jesus came, he died and rose again, and he conquered sin and death, and because of him we have eternal life.
Mhm.
We are not teaching anything other than that. We're literally just teaching that we believe man has lied to us and covered things up so that those who don't already believe can't come to find Christ.
Right. It's like what we're teaching is obviously not contrary. It's literal.
Yeah.
It's just what.
And it also, this
so said.
particular post says, this is making a mockery of prophecy. It's not. We just believe that Jesus' prophecies, he meant what he said. We're not saying he didn't stick to his word. We're saying he
did
literally
exactly
did
what he said he was going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's just, we wanted to go over this a while ago and we never got to, but it's saying like claiming it could be secret or hidden, like his return. It's not so secret and hidden, but like the Bible tells us we have to search for him, like seek him and search for him, search for truth. And like that the hidden things will be revealed to us when we like seek it. And so it's like,
Yeah, we're just doing that.
Yeah, so it's like if what would be a greater deception than to get people to believe that God didn't mean what his word said? Because if you can start questioning that Jesus didn't actually mean what he said, then you can question the whole faith.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like that's the thing. It's like for non-believers,
this is important.
This is very important because it's showing that Jesus said he was going to do something, and that's what he did. Because if you take it and you're like, well, he hasn't came back yet, that gives them room to be like, oh, well, if he said he was going to come back to those people and he didn't, why would I believe him.
Yeah.
He's still not back. It's been 2,000 years. Then it's just putting doubts in those people's minds. And I think, I think we've said this before. It's like almost more important for non-believers to hear this, because it's like he literally did what he said, and that's how you can trust him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with biblical earth. It's like, I think it's more important that, because a lot of believers are arguing now, like it's not important. It's not important for us because we already have salvation. It's still important to me, but it's not important to us because we already have our salvation. But it's important for those who don't have salvation, because if you have this globe Earth, then it gives room for like the Big Bang to be true. All these things that non-believers can be like, oh, see, like this makes more sense because it just doesn't fit. So all of these things are important.
It's like if God said it, it's important. It's like we can't just be like, oh well. To me, it's just like you can choose to believe what we were taught in school, or you can choose to believe what God said.
And we talked about this earlier. We're just saying it's like, if God is our king and he is like the first in our life, like we want to protect and honor him. And it's like with our spouses, if our spouses created something, or like someone was telling false things about our spouse,
we would stand up for them.
We would stand up for them, and we would say, that's not true. Like, you honor that person, you love that person, you wouldn't want somebody lying about them or portraying something false about them.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like, I feel like that's what it boils down to for us. It's like we have grown to love the Lord even more than we thought. Like we once did, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to protect his word and his truth and like what he's done, Cody, not just reading my Bible, he's taken a much deeper route recently. It's incredible. Fascinating. I missed something, I think. That was are you the ways that JT had on? I mentioned it. Mark implemented it.
Oh, I missed that one.
Oh, I did see clips from that.
Oh yeah, that was not us.
It was not us.
Yeah, that was a very interesting episode. Did you watch that one?
I saw parts of it. Is it the one where she's saying like it was literally you had to have that to go into the marketplace or whatever?
Yeah, super fascinating.
Yeah, it's just stuff like that that's crazy to me, because it's like you can literally, it's not hard to like. There's things that prove all these things, but because I think it's like almost a pride thing. It's because we always thought we were living in it, that because those things that happened to us, it's like, no, that can't be it. But it's like, what do you think those people thought when they were literally in it,
Yeah. No, it's just so cool. I think, I know, it's just cool to like read and just like constantly be learning new things, because it's like, I feel like, especially for us, like growing up in the Christian home churches, you kind of feel like when you're like a young adult, you're like, I already know everything about the Bible. Like I've heard it all.
I mean, we literally take tests on it.
Yeah, you take tests on it. Like, it, right? Yeah. But then 10 years later or whatever, more than that, or older than that, it's like, dang, like this, there's just so much more.
I think that's the difference between knowledge. It's like having knowledge of God or like truly knowing God.
Yes.
Like he doesn't want us to just have this knowledge of like, like true or false questions on tests. That's easy to do, but it's like to really know the heart of God.
I'm glad you caught our live tonight too. I hope
we're still figuring it out. Hopefully it's okay.
I hope that we can join you soon, because I think that would be super fun.
I really want to get Con's party bus on.
I know. We want to get on the party bus. What? So hopefully we can join that soon. But yeah, I don't know. I just think we've learned a lot, and it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
And I think that's the hard thing is like to grow up in a church like us and a Christian school and a Christian home. It is kind of hard because it's like so much about the Word of God, but like we were talking about today, it's like this deeper love. It's really love the Lord in a different way now, where I want to know Him and I want to know His heart, not just know His words so that I could quote them.
Exactly.
Because like even rereading, there's just so many things I'm rereading, and it just paints a whole different picture than what I grew up like learning. Like even the one we've talked about this verse so much, but where they throw the dead guy into the grave with Elijah's
Yeah.
bones, and he just comes back to life, and it's like that really happened.
Right.
But like when we read it, it's almost like we skim over it, and it's like that was a fairy tale. It's not real, you
Yeah.
know?
No, for sure. It's just like because you're taught them as a kid. I don't know what it is. You just kind of like don't really realistically think
I
about
think
them
it's just
happening.
it just feels like a story. I
So
mean, you think
then-
about like Noah's Ark and stuff, you know?
I know. So like to like really put yourself in that situation, like what would this have looked like?
Mm-hmm.
And to realize like just God is so much bigger, you know?
Mhm.
Like he's
Yeah.
just so much bigger than we what's the word? I don't know what I'm looking for, but
It's just like
it's just
it's
different.
real. I think it just always makes me think like our life is way more like the world in general is more like a Lord of the Rings movie than we even understand.
Corbin said when people call believing in the little season satanic, it's the complete opposite. I've only seen it produce fruit in people who figure it out. 100%.
Like the peace, like Alyssa was talking about, I feel so much more at peace. Like
Yeah.
it just makes more sense, and I feel that peace, and like you can't have peace apart from God.
Right.
You can't have truth without cult. I know it says this, but it's true. Like He is the way, the truth, and the life, and we can't have truth without
Yeah.
Him. You know. Let's see. Sometimes it's not about searching for the answers. Like let's seek the answer for a test, but rather seeking to know Him better as I seek answers to the question He stirs me. Yeah. Yeah, it's more about
It's kind of the finding the one, right?
Yeah.
That's I don't know. It's just been a super cool journey, and I'm just like I just like love continuing to learn.
Mm-hmm. It's like we keep going with it. I keep getting away from it, but like if you go still with like the marriage, like analogy, it's just like the more you were just talking about this on one of our voicemails, but the more like longer you're with your spouse and the more you know them, the more they just know you without even like, it's like weird the things they know about you.
It's very weird.
You know, and it's like I kind of think that's how it is with the Lord. It's like it's easier to know things in your heart the more time you spend with Him, you know? Yeah. And like just being willing to get weird. That's what I think the biggest thing about growing up in the church and growing up in a Christian school is like the weird things. Like I heard the word Nephilim so long ago, and I kind of feel like it was like written off. You know, I never
heard that word.
Like I heard it mentioned in church, like at our old church.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to put any, but like I heard it mentioned, but it was kind of just like briefly, like they don't want to talk about it because it gets weird. It makes it weird. Mm-hmm. It makes it like a Lord of the Rings movie,
does,
you know? And nobody wants to think that's real.
But it's even like so with the Holy Spirit, right? It's like we've learned so much about the Holy Spirit and how important that we understand, right? Yeah. And like how much He's helping us and He still gives us gifts and you know what I mean? And it's like we've also done that down so much. And then
when it happens, it's like, that's weird. Is that God? Yes. Because we think it's so weird.
Yes. And then that's like, we're missing so much. Like, we're missing out.
Yeah. Which is
so
what Satan wants.
And it's like, everything just makes sense. Everything makes sense that we're in this time frame because it's like, everything's been like, I don't know, pushed out. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's just like, it just makes sense. And it just like,
also
we're missing a lot.
Of people who are so upset at this thought because they won't be raptured. We're going on really long.
I know we should probably
that we shouldn't be raptured. I'm just like, I think it's cool if we're here during the battle. Can you imagine what the final battle's going to look like?
I think so too.
I keep mentioning Lord of the Rings, but that's like all I can envision is like these weird creatures and things.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be so mind blowing. Like I almost feel like that's cooler than me just being taken up. Not that I mean, either way, I just want to be with the Lord, but like I'm sure it's gonna be
crazy. And I just think, like I said, like it's like a piece of like, okay, even if that does happen, we already know what it is. We don't have to fear. Like we know who's gonna win. You know? So it's like, I don't know, it's just so much less fear.
Yep. We get to be with Jesus one day, whether we see the final battle, whether we just get into the clouds.
Either way. I like that one.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because when we know that He died and rose again, then that's truly all that matters. So, well,
this has been great.
I think that's it. I wish we could do this together all the time.
It's so much nicer,
so much better. But thank you everybody who hopped on. It was nice to chat with y'all.
Yeah, I hope it
There I go, getting my y'alls.
y'all.
Getting
She's
used to it.
let's get her to move here.
But anyways, we will see you guys next time.
Bye, y'all.